Hello, everybody. Welcome to a special Code Breakers live on a Monday. I hope you were able to join us. If you're watching and it's not live and it's later on, we just had to do this week because I went to the His Glory Ranch in Mount Pleasant, Texas this weekend, and I spoke at their conference there on Saturday, and it was really, really awesome. I don't know if who's watching has been to the His Glory Ranch, but it is great over there. And Pastor Dave Scarlett is just the best. And so my husband and I drove to Texas from Tennessee on Thursday. Yes. And then Friday, we had to set up and get ready for Saturday. The event was on Saturday. It was great. It was a great success. I love going to these things because I get to actually meet in person some of you. And I met so many people and reconnected with some. And we just had just such a productive weekend as well, just making connections and meeting people and talking to people who my dad had prophesied over, who dad knew. It was just a great weekend. And then we woke up yesterday morning and drove home. And so we left at 10 in the morning, and my husband and I, we just booked it and stopped 2 times in 8 hours and made it home by like 6:30. And so we were glad to do that because it was cold. All day long, it got colder. I mean, I went from Saturday being hot and just not even needing a sweater outside and to the very next day putting on a jacket in the morning. And by the time we got home, it was freezing, literally freezing temperatures. So that was a crazy weather change. But we made it, and it was just a really awesome time at the His Glory Ranch. And so I was looking at your comments. I'm seeing Strumming talking about a rap. You make me laugh, Strumming. And I see there's people from Arizona and Colorado and Wisconsin. Did you see me on His Glory TV, Karen, over there on Rumble? Nova Scotia, back in the house. Awesome. Um, I have no idea what this person is saying about Donald Trump forbidding my mother to talk to you. That's a little weird. My mother's never met Donald Trump, and so he has never forbidden her to speak to anybody. And you guys, oh, Alabama, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, and how's my House of Destiny people? I see you there. A lot of you have made it today. I didn't think there would be too many people because we're on a different day, same time, different day. But a Monday is way different than a Sunday, because on a Monday, whew, my day today. My goodness, I was up at 6:30 this morning. I had to get the car. It was 27 degrees outside. I had to take my daughter to work. I mean to school, and it was so cold outside. I warmed the car up first. I haven't had to do that for a while. I just warmed the car up, warmed the car up, took her to school, came back, got my son, took him to school. Then I don't know if did I tell you guys about Ohio, North Carolina, Delaware, UK. Did I tell you what I did to my truck? I don't know if I told you guys. I was in the Starbucks parking lot, and I don't know if how to describe what happened. There were no other cars involved. It was just me, and I was trying to pull into the parking lot, and I was so squeezed in there because there were cars coming in, going out of the parking lot, and I was trying to get in, and there's a drive-through over there, and I was squeezing in, and they have these big concrete pillars on the side of the parking lot, sort of directing if you're going into the drive-through, and I was not. I was going straight, but I guess I moved too far over to the right, and because it was the passenger side, I couldn't see, and dented the whole side of my truck. Oh, Petra was here. That's my husband. Thank you for your super chat, babe. Oh, snow in Indiana too. I'm hearing there's snow everywhere. Michigan, snowing in West Michigan. I saw that. Oklahoma, hi Oklahoma. I don't know if it's snowing there. It's snowing here, but it's not sticking because it's like 33 degrees, so the snow's not sticking. But there's just flurries of snow everywhere. It's really nice. It's pretty. I love the winter, so I'm not complaining. Um, Long Island, Pennsylvania. Hello from Michigan. Hello, Michigan. Praying extra for you guys. Illinois plus the cold. Yeah, you guys are cold over there too. But you know what? It's time. Oh, Kelvis is a new member of the Vault. Welcome. Isn't it great? I love doing the Prophecy Vault. From Maine, beautiful Maine, Pennsylvania, North Dakota. You're probably cold in North Dakota. Snow in Minnesota. Yes, my truck that I love. It's my Chevy Silverado. I got it in 2022. I needed a truck. I got that truck, and then that's the only thing that's happened with that truck too. I'm a very careful driver. I don't actually often get into things like that, but I had a bad day. It was the week before the Eric Trump interview, and so many things went wrong all week long that week. The devil did not want me talking to Eric. If you haven't watched the Eric Trump interview, you can go to the Kim Clement YouTube channel. Donna's asking about the His Glory conference. I don't know if you can find it on YouTube. Go over to His Glory and have a look there. And is it natural snow or from the chemtrail? We don't have any chemtrails here. My mother showed me the other day. She said, "Look at the sky," and I'm like, "There's nothing in the sky. What is it?" And she said, "That's it. There's nothing in the sky," because she watches for the chemtrails and she hasn't seen them. Okay, sounds like Christians are going to march in Dearborn. Oh, good. Listen, that's territory we got to take back, Christians, because Muslims have it now. And listen, this is some of the stuff I want to talk to you about today. Now, really, I want to encourage you all, go and watch Analysis on Wednesday, because Christy and I are going to do a deep dive into what people need to understand about Islam and the Beast of the East. Because in 1996 in Dearborn, Michigan, my dad prophesied 9/11. And in that prophecy, he speaks of the Beast of the East. Now, the Beast of the East is not just Islam. The Beast of the East is the joining of hands of Islam with communism or socialism. That is how Iran ended up the way it is. So before I go into that, though, I just want to finish what I was saying because I just kind of left you hanging on the truck there. I took my truck in to get repaired. So I had to take it to the collision place. So I dropped off my daughter, dropped off my son, went home, emptied everything out of the truck that we just driven for 8 hours the day before, cleaned it out, and then had it at the place by 10 o'clock. And then I rented a car through, the insurance. I'm using my insurance. So it's, I don't even know. But I got a rental car. So got the rental car, stopped at the grocery store, went back home, did a staff meeting, left there, went and picked my kids up early and came over here. So it is a big truck, Strumming. And the reason is because I had a little SUV, a little GMC SUV, and I was leasing it. And when the lease was up, I decided to get a truck because you really can't live in Tennessee unless you have a truck. You need one here. On top of which, when the weather is cold, you do want a four-wheel drive vehicle because of ice in the roads, and that really frightens me. The ice in the roads. I'm not a fan. Actually, in that little GMC that I had, we got snowed in. This was a few years ago now, I think 2020 or 2021. It was February and a huge snowstorm came through here and we were snowed in for 3 days. And they don't salt the roads because it doesn't snow often enough here for them to have all that. We'll get snow a few times in the winter, but not like, some of our people that are in North Dakota and Minnesota, in places where you get a lot of snow. So I had to get a truck. I had to have one. So I had to get a new car. My lease was up and I handed in that car and I did my research on what I could afford and what I wanted. And I'm trust Chevy, so I got a Chevy Silverado. And I love that truck. It is just a wonderful truck. I didn't get any of the fancy stuff you get with it, but because there's the fancy big screen. I kind of wanted that, but they didn't have it in the model I wanted, whatever. So I ended up with the truck. And now I've had it for 3 years and I dented the side of it. Fail. So it's getting fixed though, and that's why you have insurance. Yeah, you taking a side view mirror off. Yeah, you sometimes you do have to do that. I was so squeezed into that parking lot. It's way too small of a parking lot. So here we are today. Anyway, we're looking at, I'm thinking that maybe we should play. Before I do that, I titled today's broadcast, Government Shutdown Ends. Some of you might have caught that. And then we changed it because I thought I understood what was going on. Like they got the votes in the Senate. They got enough Democrats to come over so that they could get, I think it was 60 votes. And so I thought that was it. But then after I got home from doing all the stuff I was doing this morning, I put on PBD, Patrick Bet-David, while I was sitting there working on some stuff. And I was listening to him, and they were saying, no, only certain things are going to be opening up. But then when I arrived here now, Lou told me that Trump was saying, what did he say, Lou? Don Fraser. Hi, Don Fraser. I see you there from Detroit. Welcome.
He was saying that it's opening up. And he also truthed out that all the air traffic controllers need to go back to work. And
I have the one where he complains.
Yes. And then, but he was saying, to them, they didn't go into detail like you just said about only certain things will open up. He just said it's opening up. And he's very confident that it's going to come to his desk.
He's the boss.
So.
Is my lip swelling?
I don't think so.
Does it look? Does anyone else? It feels like here, like it's swelling. You know that over the weekend, this part of my face swelled up from that tooth. Remember, the dentist never did the root canal. She was going to save it.
Dentists.
I went into that situation because they had to put me out. I went into that situation expecting a root canal in that tooth and not having pain anymore. She put a cap over it, and then she didn't do the root canal. And now I get pain in it all the time. It's swelled up this weekend.
Which is surprising because they love doing root canals here.
Why? I wanted they can take all of them. I've had so much tooth pain in the last 5 years in my mouth and the things that I've been through. I don't need any of those roots anymore. I don't want to feel a thing.
I had to do a root canal on the one top part, and then they said to me, do you want to
Didn't they do it on all?
I did them all.
When did they do that? Not here.
Not here. No. I had to request it in South Africa after they said they were going to do one. I said, well, can't you just do all of them and let's get it done with? Because I really don't want to come back. I had good insurance.
P. Jones 58 on Rumble. Thank you so much for your gift. Strumming, Brandon Biggs. Okay, strumming. Brandon did see my dad, and Brandon texted me. You can stay. You should. Brandon texted me while I was out of town, and he was just like out of nowhere texting me, and he said, I saw your dad. I saw your dad. And he saw my dad. I actually have it in here, so if I want to get it accurately. He saw my dad, and he was playing the piano, and he had lightning all around him. And he was praying for America. And he told Brandon the years 2027, 2028, and 2032. That's what Brandon told me. Now, I actually haven't been able to call. I want to call Brandon and talk to him on the phone. I was just traveling and doing all that. Been so busy, but I'm gonna call him in the next day or so.
Well, that's funny because we got the 2027 around that time, the prophecy about 2027.
Right, we got the 2027.
And then we were always saying, but what's after that? We don't know but we know that there's still prophecies to fulfill, but we got no more dates. We got no more.
No, if you guys see a video on YouTube by anyone else, a featuring video of my dad that says Kim Clement prophecy for 2025, that is clickbait. Yeah. They are using footage of my dad, which in the beginning we told them they You know,
They
we were okay with
could,
what
'cause they were
we can't really stop anyone.
Well, they did request it, and at first it was fine. And some of you might even know who we're talking about because they're very prominent.
Well, why
And
can't I just say
and they
what would happen
nothing.
if I said
I don't know.
who it
I
was?
don't think
They have no problem using footage of my dad
Yeah.
and then using deceptive titling
it
to
deceptive.
say Kim Clement prophecy for 2025. Well, I mean, you could be. I guess. I mean, I don't. I suppose
No, because I know
he never said
Look,
2025 though. You should all know that.
we have been doing these prophecies for a very long time.
Look,
and
there
when-
are a lot of things that have happened in
Yes.
2025 in their
But
defense, so that could be what they
but not
mean.
what because
But they
it's
present it
it's
as
100% of a video that they use. I can see the
Do
percentage.
they speak in between?
No, and it's the wrong.
How are they allowed to
it's
do
the
that
wrong
then with YouTube with
prophecy.
their rules?
I have been sending requests for videos to be taken down, and they take down some, so they can't be blocked. But
You know, those people get more views than we do.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
Over 200,000.
They'll get 300,000 views on a video because they put a title
That's not
that
right.
says Kim Clement prophecy for 2025. And then there's no one in there hosting it,
And
you know,
but
because
there's no, the video is wrong because I
Yes.
know that exact prophetic rewind.
now Troy Black, is that his name? He's a prophet. I think it's Troy Black is what is it? You guys, I'm looking in the chat to see, give you guys a second to answer me. Okay. He did a video and he specifically said to people in the video, stop going to other places to see Kim Clement. I've never met him. He doesn't, I don't know.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And
I
he
remember that.
said, people stop going to these other places to look at Kim Clement's prophecies. You need to go to his ministry. And that's right here. Because, yes, there you go, Princess Holy Roller. She said the name. And Troy is accurate. Troy saw Charlie Kirk. He saw that happening. And you know who else saw that? Manuel.
Oh.
Manny. Manny wants to come on here with us, and he can't do a Sunday live. So I told him we could interview him and then just add it to it. I could just show people on a live.
Yeah.
Because on Sundays he has church, so he can't can't come in. But I saw him this weekend, and he showed me his prophecy, what God showed him. And it was in like July, I think. And there he is saying he sees this big funeral in America. And it was someone political, but they weren't a politician. And I mean, it was really accurate. Manny I love Manny. I'm the only one pronouncing his name right, by the way. It is Manuel. I asked him. I said, do I say Manuel?
I would love
Or is it Manuel? He said, no, it's Manuel. But everyone calls him Manny.
What's that show your dad liked?
Faulty
Towers.
Faulty Towers.
I know.
Manuel. But Manuel, the waiter in the show. There's this. If anybody ever watched Monty Python, on Monty Python, the guys who did Monty Python, specifically John Cleese, did a show called Faulty Towers, and it only had a few seasons in the 70s. And my dad loved that show. And so we used to watch it over and over again. He got them on video when you had video, and we would play them at home, and then DVD, and now you can stream it. But there's a waiter in that show named Manuel. And so I grew up knowing the name Manuel to be that waiter in that show, which is a very funny show.
It's very funny.
But anyway, so it's Manuel is how you say it.
Yeah.
And so that's someone else I got to spend some time with, you guys. And Rodney Howard Brown. Oh, I could probably get Rodney to come on. Yes. Paula White is very busy. I've talked to her about coming on with us, but she is it's hard. Like I might have to, like me and Christy, go to her.
Yeah.
And we could do a special thing. I've got to arrange that with Paula. And I don't want to bother her. That's the thing. I see Paula White, and she's just constantly nonstop working. And she's there with Trump, and she's in the West Wing. And so I don't want to push too hard, because I feel bad, because the last time when John and I went, and she invited us to the White House, and we went in, and we had the whole we were briefed. It was when the Pope died.
Yeah.
Oh,
talk about the Pope. Did you see what he said?
No.
he said that he's telling everybody that Jesus is the Lord and Savior and not Mary. And so Jesus is number one. Mary was just an advisor on the side. He said it this last week.
I mean, you're stating the obvious.
Yeah. But he's telling everybody not to glorify Mary, but glorify Jesus.
Hey, I like it.
Yeah.
Because you remember Dad prophesied about the joining of hands of the Protestants and Catholics. Because we're living in a time where that is what is definitely going to be happening. Other people know Faulty Towers.
Mm-hmm. All right,
great memories laughing at Manuel.
Yes.
Now Manny is nothing like Manuel, obviously.
No, but when you said his when you said his name, I heard it in my head.
Do a show from the White House. Wouldn't that be fun?
That would be nice.
Could I get see? Here's the other thing about me though. I get nervous.
Yeah.
About interviewing some of the people like Erica Kirk. I would probably be so nervous. I've never met her. I don't know her. It's like with Eric Trump, it was a lot easier because I know Eric. I toured with,
and you've done it a few times.
When I don't know somebody, you know, because I'm actually not great at doing interviews.
Well, that's why we'll have it written down, and you can just look at a piece of paper. And I mean, everybody does that.
Yeah.
That way, you don't have to. Think
I struggle with that. You know me. I'm just me. So I just Erica Kirk would be good. I bet you I could get Erica. I'd like to get Dinesh D'Souza as well, and I think Dinesh D'Souza I could probably get to come.
We better get to some of those.
I know we should. But it's just been so nice. Everybody's chatting. I mean, it's. Yes, Manny does work with Julie Green. Julie Green was there this weekend. I saw Julie this weekend. Briefly, I didn't get to actually hang out with her or anything.
Oh, I watched you on Flyover Conservatives last night.
Paula White Kane was on the Benny. Oh, did they air it?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you guys, I was on the Flyover with the Flyover Conservatives.
It's on YouTube under the His Glory channel.
Is it? Mm-hmm. YouTube under His Glory channel?
Remember, they were taken off YouTube, so now His Glory's put them on with them.
I wonder if they'll get their channel back. It would be so great if the Flyover Conservatives could get their YouTube channel.
And you did a very good job.
Did I?
Yes.
You know, I so enjoyed that interview. And the thing about Stacey and David, is that they, I get along really well with them. Especially David is funny, and Stacey does a fantastic job of code breaking. That's what she's doing all the time. Stacey looks at all the prophets and what they're prophesying and compares things. And so she did that with me the other day, and I had my dad's, and then she had Amanda Grace and Robin Bullock and Julie Green had all prophesied the similar thing. So you guys, if you can find Elijah Streams is back on YouTube. I did not know that. Jake was there this weekend and met Julie and Manuel and Pastor Dave. Some people have seen the Flyover Conservatives interview.
Yeah, it's on Rumble and it's also on YouTube. On YouTube, it's under His Glory. So just go to the His Glory TV or His Glory.
Winifred Cum knows Faulty Towers. It's going to freeze in northeast Florida tonight.
I was so happy when I saw the flurries while I was driving here to the studio. I was like, flurries!
There have been snow flurries all day.
I was so excited when I saw it.
I'm excited. It feels like Christmas is coming.
But they did say this is going to be a different winter than. And remember, I've been saying this because our summer was so different, and it went longer. The trees didn't change color for a while. And I've been saying it. I was like,
no, they did.
Something.
You see all the red. I love when the leaves change color. The red. Something's going to
happen this winter. We're going to have either an early winter or a longer one, because and then what's his name that we watch on the weather?
Ryan Holial.
He said today that there's a very strange coldness coming our way. So
I like the cold. I don't mind at all.
Well,
I have to tell you guys something, especially you, Bunny. Gumbo, my French bulldog,
I love the comment,
and my cat Bartleby have been sworn enemies since day one.
Yes.
Bartleby will attack him. He is brutal and almost blinded the dog twice by scratching him in the eye when he was in his crate. Well, they were laying together on the beanbag this morning. He got out of Binka's room before I let him out. Usually I let him and he runs through the house and he's so scared. He runs as fast as he can to get out the door. And it was so cold. And you know how he is. He hates the cold. And so I guess he left her room when I was dropping them off at school. And when I came home, I looked and there was Gumbo and there was Bartleby. It's cold enough that they've put their differences aside so they can both be warm.
How prophetic of them. And the differences were put aside and we got
negative 50 in North Dakota. You guys, that's too cold. Okay, so let's look at, I want to look at the 9/11 prophecy. Do you think we could play that one? And that one will be number 5. Okay, let's listen to the 9/11 prophecy again. Let's go this. This is 1996, Dearborn, Michigan. Glenda put up her Christmas tree. Okay, here we go.
There has been a terrorist act and will be another. For the Spirit of the Lord says America will retaliate. But God says even as they retaliate with natural weapons of war, and they say we will go to the place of the east and we will go and we will bring them down for what they did to our people as they flew in the air over Long Island. But the Spirit of the Lord says another will take place. But God says the retaliation will not be right. It will not be of my spirit. It will be a wrong decision. But God says the saints of the Lord, of the Most High God, will begin to pray. And yet God says, I will strike down the God of the East. I will bring something to pass very soon. I have told you about it. The very God of the East, the very King of the East, the very Prince of the East, the one that waged a war against America, spoke about the mother of wars. For God says this is going to be the mother of wars. Going to be the mother of wars.
Okay, you can stop
Going to be the mother of wars.
Now that's just, it's like that because I made that for a video on YouTube years ago. But I like to play that one because it's got the captions in it. And so no matter, because even though you have automatic captions, they don't pick up my dad's accent and it'll be inaccurate. So I actually will often make my own where I sit there in Final Cut and type it out with each little section. Okay. The very God of the East. He actually doesn't say Beast of the East there. Now, Lou, where does he say Beast of the East? We need to look up that in the prophecy database. Because I keep saying Beast of the East. He says the very God of the East, the very Beast of the East. Not Beast, the very King of the East. The one that waged war against America. Spoke about the mother of wars. Okay, and so we know what was at the end of that video. You saw that I had images of Trump and 9/11, and in there I actually have the Ayatollah of Iran tweeting, or maybe it was the Prime Minister tweeting about the mother of wars.
It was when he was in London, March 21st,
but he must have used Beast of the East before then. Because so many times I remember him saying Beast of the East. In the 9/11 prophecy, he doesn't actually say Beast of the East. Huh. But it's so firmly embedded in my memory as that. In there he says the very God of the East, the very Prince of the East, the one who wept. Interesting. Because, I mean, it doesn't matter that much. I just don't want to be misquoted. But I know I'm not misquoting him.
Yeah, he did it in London, March 21st. And the rest of the time that I'm looking here, it's he just says Beast.
You know, we need to go look at Piercing the Darkness. That is an old, I think it's on cassette tape. And it's called Piercing the Darkness. We have not released this because we have to find it. Now, I bet you Dunham probably can find, because it was a set my dad did.
Yeah.
Piercing the Darkness. Now, that was before 9/11, before the 9/11 prophecy. So he did Piercing the Darkness after he broke his wrists. Now, you remember, I was there when my dad broke his wrists. I witnessed the accident. He fell this way. like that. So his wrists broke completely off. The bone was completely broken. The only thing keeping his hand on his arm were the muscles and tendons and things like that, but the actual bones were broken on both wrists. And when he had to go, he went to the hospital, obviously broken both of his arms. He had a series of visions. One thing that happened to him was he was in the hospital and he said the devil came into his room, sat down on his chest, like straddled him, and put his face. He said he was very nice looking. He was dressed in an expensive looking suit. He was he didn't look like a devil. He looked like a nice looking, I don't want to say nice. That's not the right word for the devil, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, the devil straddled him, put his nose to his nose and said, so you will be piercing the darkness. As in like a question. And then my dad was taken out of, and he had this vision and he heard a sound. Now, for me, when I would hear him talk about a sound, I'm thinking prophetic, worship, music, prophecy, that kind of thing. But, we hear more and more, no, he had dark hair strumming. Princess Holy Roller says he does say the beast of the East. Did I miss it? Am I just questioning myself for no reason? Oh, you're in Gatlinburg. I bet it is snowing over there. I'm so easily distracted. I'm like a child. I'm just reading the comments. January 20th, 2011. Passion Fashion Kid says in the database, Beast of the East on YouTube, January 20th, 2011. Anyway, he does say it. But I'm talking about the piercing the darkness because I think we need to get that. And we need to check that out again. We could put it on Prophetic
Your
Rewind.
dad actually did Piercing the Darkness all over. He came to South Africa.
It was a whole thing he did. It was because of that experience he had. And he heard the sound, and I'm thinking about frequency.
Yeah, they're right. January 20th, 2011.
Yeah, you're right.
Heaven
Fashion
Kid.
Kid.
The Beast of the East is presently with the Son of God and the Living Word.
So the Beast of the East is Islam and communism. Even when he prophesied Russia will join its hands with Iran, Syria. Now, Trump is having that Syrian... What is he, a president, prime minister, leader, whatever he is of Syria now?
I think he also said today
he's coming to the White House.
They've been added to the Accords.
Right.
But I didn't watch it.
A lot of us are apprehensive.
A lot of people.
Because this guy was ISIS. He's a jihadist.
Again, in January 15th, in 2011, he said a lot about the Beast of the East. Don't you know the Beast of the East is about to bend his knee?
Yes.
So
because it's coming to. We've seen Mamdani. Here's Princess Holy Roller, November 10th, 2007. You guys are the best. You see, this is code breaking. This is what it's supposed to be.
Well, it's a long list. That's why I'm going down it.
It would be a long list. The leader of Syria. He's just the leader. Is that what we call him? He's not the president. I mean, I don't think it works that way. You see, here's why you guys need to watch Analysis on Wednesday. Because Christy is going to explain. Christy's mother is the one that went to my dad and explained to him in the mid-2000s about, she's an old friend of the family, known me since I was a baby. I used to call her Peepo because she played peekaboo with me. So everyone still calls her Peepo. But that's Christy's mother, explained to my dad and my mom
the importance of Israel.
But not just the importance of Israel, but the truth about what's actually going on with Islam. What are the 12ers? Because Mamdani is a 12er. It is very important that we know who our enemy is right now. We need to know our enemy. So, what is a 12er? The leaders of Iran, they are 12ers. They have their own eschatology. Okay? Their eschatology is almost like flipped to the opposite of ours, of what we have in the Bible. And you have different theories and things with eschatology, but they have like their own thing, and I am going to butcher it. So watch Analysis on Wednesday because Christy's going to break it down. And the other thing is called, she's going to explain this too. and not just Christy. Oh, Walter. Oh, you guys loved the Walter Legage interview. We had great views on that, great response. Walter did such a good job explaining the energy situation because I, again, couldn't have explained this. I'm looking for, here it is. It's called Takia. And Takia is where it's okay for them to lie and be deceptive.
Yes.
And we're going to be able to show you in the
They can
Quran.
say whatever they want as long as it
President, the Syrian president, Ahmad al-Sharaa.
Well, I sent you one of those video clips about.
Some people know what 12ers are. Damama 4209 says, "Oh no, I had no idea he was a 12er. He's a 12er. He was just in Puerto Rico giving speeches in Arabic and Allah, Allah,
He
Allah.
went there after he won.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why? Why is he going to Puerto Rico? Because they want Puerto Rico to be a state. And they want
And that's the
to
plan right
pack the house.
Pack the court.
Not the house. My brain today. I'm not supposed to be doing these shows on a Monday.
But
It's
here's
supposed
the
to happen on a Sunday.
I was watching. I even sent you one of the videos where they were talking about these things, and I was finding them. It was coming up on my feed, and the imams and all of them were saying, if it's not by the ballot, it's by the bullet.
Yes.
And they saying, look, we will accept anybody, gay, straight, no matter what it is, as long as we can get Islam into here, and we will do it at the ballot or we'll do it by bullet.
Go to my X page. How do we come here? Come here. No, just come here. Stay here today. You can do it from here. It's fine. This is more of a relaxed stage. I was outside of our hotel room this weekend, and there was a little cat.
You didn't bring him home.
Oh no, I couldn't. Okay. I tried though. Bali, if I could have brought that cat home, I would have. He was little. He wasn't a little kitten, but he was about 6 months. He was a Siamese. He was so cute, but his little face. He had the cutest little face and a little black tail. Oh. And I was out there like, we could be together. And I was doing the little cat.
You're too young to be the cat lady already.
Trying to lure him in. And he was coming to me, but he was nervous. So he would run off a little bit, then he would come back. Shame. I didn't have anything to feed him. And then when I did go across to the gas station and I got a can of cat food out of my pocket, I didn't see him again. He was gone. If I had had food, I would have been coming home with a cat, another cat. God has saved me from myself. Okay, here's what Charlie Kirk has to say, or had to say about, and this was days before his assassination.
The spiritual battle is coming to the West, and the enemies are wokeism or Marxism combining with Islamism to go after what we call the American way of life. And the American way of life is very simple. I want to be able to get married, buy a home, have kids, allow them to ride their bike till the sun goes down, send them to a good school, have a low-crime neighborhood, not to have my kid be taught the lesbian, gay, transgender garbage in their school, while also not having them have to hear the Muslim call to prayer 5 times a day. That's important. We want the American way of life, which is, by the way, Christendom. Christians, our sacrifice, our toil, our vision, the outgrowth of the scriptures gave us Western civilization. And this is where I think is a great rallying cry. Doesn't matter if you're Hispanic, doesn't matter if you're Asian, doesn't matter if you're black or white. Everybody, if you are Christian and Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, these two threats are combining forces to come after us. And it's time that the church stands and rises up against it.
Yep. So you can, and I'm going to show you right now, Glenn Beck.
Well, this is why they also, in the religion, they also allowed 4 wives or more.
Yeah.
And each wife can bear 3 children, 4, so they can multiply. And they're saying right now the Christian our numbers are a lot higher in Christendom, but by 2050,
because we're not having enough kids.
Yeah.
Because I said to all the women,
but
no, you don't have to. You don't have to have kids. You need to live your life. And so now all these women work. And look, I'm not against women working. I really want you to understand that. Like for a lot of people, I mean, look, I'm a woman who's working.
You can do both.
You can do both. But there's this push. And not everybody's meant to do that. Not all women are meant to do that. Not all men are meant to do certain things. It's got nothing to do with one being better than the other or competing with one another, because we are actually two different things. A man is different than a woman.
Mhm.
You can't just throw on some lipstick and be a woman. Did you see what happened at that gym?
Yes,
That woman was a lesbian.
yes, and she was
So that's
furious.
not even to
And
do with
she
that.
was kicked out
She was kicked out.
for standing up for her right. But here's the thing: before you play Glenn Beck,
I'm not
is
going to play Glenn Beck.
I,
I'm going to
I,
play Mom Donnie from his
Mom
own
Donnie.
lips.
Well, the thing is, when we released on Israel Update what Doobie was talking about, we played a bit of it in the beginning. But I've been seeing in comments when we posted that promo on our social media, people are like, "Why are you so worried about a New York mayor? He's just a mayor. He's just a mayor." And I'm just like, you
Do
know
you
what?
know how
He's
they
not
are
just. This
celebrating?
is how they did it in London. They took over the mayor. Then they
Yes.
went. They've taken almost every level of government there is, and they're changing the laws of a Christian nation, and they're trying to do that here. Now, the financial district is in New York. The financial district in London, the two largest financial districts in the world, London and New York, are starting to.
This was a great victory for them. Look at this.
أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين
They are very, very happy because Mamdani was a great win for them.
غير
You may say, well,
المغضوب
it's just New York. No, it's not just New York. 38
Mhm.
Muslims were elected to office last week
Yeah.
around the country.
And you just
38. So they are very excited because their infiltration plan is working thanks to the Democrats' foolishness. I was going to say something else.
well,
but
even
I'll
now,
guard my tongue.
everybody's talking about with Chuck Schumer and the shutdown and everything like that that's going on. He was trying to keep. Now they're all mad with him because it's gone through now in the Senate. The Democrats left him. The more moderate Democrats, the smart ones, finally said, "You know what? You're crazy. If we carry on like this, people are going to starve." Now they're all mad with him. Even Gavin Newsom in California is like, "You're weak. We need stronger leadership."
Gavin Newsom
But
is such a joke.
what's happening? What I saw today on Fox News is they're saying that the House is more far left because you have the AOC, you have all the more far left people there. They're the ones that are showing the strength. So people are moving towards this kind of thing. As the far left views, it's no longer the middle anymore. And when
it's the
Mamdani,
fringe of the
Yeah.
party is how they're
It's
fueling
falling
things because
apart.
they're losing people.
and
And you
the-
know what? I don't even. My thing is like Democrat,
new era for
Republican.
this
We're all
promises of our
Americans
campaign.
here. Like, can we listen to Mamdani the day after?
Good morning, New York City.
Like,
Thank you.
day.
Last night we made history.
He's elected.
Today we begin the work of making a new administration. Welcome to the transition. This is the period over the next few months where we build a city hall that delivers on the promises of our campaign, to make New York City affordable and to make government accountable to the people it serves. As we prepare to govern, we'll start announcing the leaders who will help implement our agenda. People like deputy mayors who oversee entire areas of government and the commissioners who carry out the critical work of city agencies. These appointments will be driven by excellence, integrity, and hunger to solve old problems with new solutions. Talking to organizers on the front lines of the fight to improve our city, government veterans with proven track records, policy experts from around the country and the world, and working people who know better than anyone what our neighborhoods deserve. And this will be a period, like the campaign we ran and the city hall to come, defined by transparency. Because New Yorkers deserve a government they can trust. On January 1st, I will be your mayor. New Year's Day and a new era for
Here
this
comes
city.
the best part.
Oh, and one more thing. Remember how I told you a few months ago to stop sending us money? You can start again. This transition requires staff, research, and an infrastructure that can meet this
So we're going
moment.
to do all
And
this
it will be
stuff.
made possible by the
Free
people who built
groceries.
and believe in this movement.
Free
So I hope
bus
you'll make a donation at
rides,
transition2025.com.
whatever.
Now let's get to work.
Free. Oh, but we need you to donate. Chuck,
and we're
because-
raising your tax.
and we're going to raise your taxes and please keep
send us more money.
donating so we can do all this stuff for you.
Yeah.
So you are paying for it.
The only thing that's going to slow him down right now is
Trump.
Trump and also the Democrat governor that's there in New York, because she's even seeing that this is not possible, what he's been planning, but she's been very quiet. But she knows it's not going to happen. But I was reading today that people are leaving in droves. Somebody put their
Did you
house.
see Bill O'Reilly was on Bill Maher?
No.
Bill O'Reilly did a great job. Oh, I wish I had that.
Well, I saw someone put their house up for sale, and they had 90 offers within minutes.
Bill Maher was trying to say, oh, well, people say that after elections, but they don't actually do it. And then he was like, yeah, people leave. And Bill O'Reilly goes, no. They're leaving, Bill. They're leaving.
Even the financial companies, the big ones.
And Bill Maher couldn't say anything. You guys, I've pulled up this in Paris. This just happened. The Paris people are wanting. This is the one thing that keeps happening is they keep posting all these videos. But I still want to show this because it's relevant to what I'm thinking, which is video 8. I know I've played this for you, but look, the reason I'm doing it is because it's not just about Kim Clement prophesied this thing and then this came to pass. That happens. We saw it with Trump. However, there was a bigger picture he was seeing. Number one, Beast of the East. This is an enemy that is not just Islam, but Islam and communism joining hands and taking over, an infiltration from within. These things my dad was prophesying for years. The good news is he also prophesied death to debt for the United States of America, discovering new energy. Don't forget that, because there's good stuff too. But we need to actually know. Oh, Kermit the Frog voice. He actually does kind of sound like that. Oh, Lordy. Texas stock market's supposed to open. I heard that as well, J-Dog. So I'm wanting to play and Lou, maybe we don't play the whole thing. It's kind of long, but let them just hear the beginning. Go ahead and play it, and I'll tell you when to stop.
But Europe
Mais en Europe,
will be affected
l'Europe sera affectée.
in the same way that Daniel was praying.
Et de la même façon que Daniel a prié,
There was a war in the heavens.
il y a eu une guerre dans les lieux célestes.
Prince of Persia.
Et le prince de la Perse,
There was a battle going on,
il y a eu une bataille qui a été,
as there is today.
comme il y a aujourd'hui.
And France
Et la France
shall join forces
va joindre ses forces
with Great Britain
avec la Grande-Bretagne
and some other nations.
et avec d'autres nations.
There will be a war.
Et il y aura une guerre,
It shall be a short war.
une guerre courte.
Hear me, please.
Écoutez-moi bien,
This war,
cette guerre,
and I'm not talking about a spiritual war,
et là je ne parle pas d'une guerre spirituelle,
a war will take place.
il y aura une guerre,
It shall be short-lived,
une guerre très courte,
because as France
parce que comme la France
destroyed the power
a détruit le pouvoir
of invasion
de l'envahisseur
from the Middle East
et des envahisseurs du
7th
Moyen-Orient
century.
in the 7th century,
dans le 7e
Say-
siècle,
so shall it rise up
alors la France se lèvera
and destroy the invading forces
et elle va détruire aussi des forces qui
from
vont
the beast of the
envahir,
east,
qui viendront de l'Est,
Yeah, Beast of the
and
East.
they will overcome
et nous allons vaincre,
an agreement
et nous allons vaincre un accord
between Russia
entre la Russie
and Iran,
et l'Iran,
and they will only win
et nous allons seulement vaincre
because I placed this house
parce que j'ai placé une
Okay, you
maison
can
on the
stop it
soil
there.
of France,
sur le sol de la France.
and
So that is, I'm just reminding you, because now there's Paris. It doesn't matter that it was in June because it's not actually relevant to the moment, but you're seeing everywhere you look, you're beginning to see, hang on a minute, these aren't just isolated incidents. I was going to play this, but I'm not going to. I might later if we have time.
The enemies of America in America. I think that's also.
We should play that.
We can play that one because
Number
what-
6.
um,
Can I do it from here?
no, I've got it set up special because
Sure.
of the Dropbox.
Yes.
But I want to say that this is all tying together what's happening with the shutdown and everything like this, because it's not the shutdown itself. It's what we're seeing happening in government. How with the New York thing that's going on, with the Mamdani winning, the far left screaming and shouting and actually being stronger than the old guard that they call them. It's all lining up because this is what they wanted. They're infiltrating. And remember, your dad also prophesied we'll black them out. We'll attack them on the TV
Yes.
screens. We'll do this. We'll do that.
Oh,
This is that's
that's-
what's going on.
That's video 9.
And we know that when you because that prophecy of the enemies of America living in America has stuck in my head for ages.
We just
Because-
played that on Analysis last Wednesday.
Yes, because I suggested it.
Oh.
but
Good job, buddy.
I suggested it. The only reason I did is because it just popped in my head because I've been saying this so much. When I listen to it, I say it to myself. I go, when I watch the news, I go, it's the enemies of America are here. When you see what's happening in Texas, you see what's happening all over. I mean, but we got those prophecies. I can play them.
No, you're right, Lou. And I'm thinking maybe we should play video 7.
Video 7.
Do it. Okay. Because now with what you're saying, we can play Enemies of America too. But I think we should play video 7. I want to look at that one again. Okay. So we're going to play, this was, what year was it? 2014. Dad talking about the Hypnotic November thing again. Oh, Michelle Warden, you enjoyed his worship. I love it too. So many people do. Somewhere in the future. I look much better than I look right now. Oh, I miss him. Okay, Lou, go.
I spoke about Hypnotic November. And I said, Lord, the word hypnosis does not sit well with me. And God said, this is different. There shall be a lulling. Hypnosis puts you to sleep. God said this that is going to happen is going to be mesmerizing during November and December, where I will expose one after the other. And people in this nation shall look and say, we have to call upon the name of the Lord. Because Islam has not only come from the outside, but from the inside. Yes. Therefore, watch. I listen to the prayers of the forefathers and the present fathers to bring what I promised to this nation. Would your greatest enemy stand on the Capitol, at the Capitol, and declare, away with you, dove, away with you, spirit, away with you, Yeshua. No, it shall not be. But you shall be afraid as you hear these things, but also mesmerized as I place many into a sleep, that I may draw out of them the beauty of the bride. This watch and see, says the Lord.
Oh. Wow. That's powerful. Stand at the foot of the Capitol and say, away with you, dove. The other thing that happened this week, Lou, come back. I'm enjoying talking to you today. The other thing that happened this week is Nancy Pelosi retired. Guess what happened right before?
The stocks?
No.
Oh.
Everybody says that with her because we know how rich she got off the stocks. And then you think about what's her name that they put in jail, Martha Stewart.
Oh, yeah. And she didn't do it,
A
actually.
few $100,000 too. It wasn't even that much money. It was like $200,000. Nancy Pelosi is now worth like $500 million, almost $1 billion.
I said when I heard that, I was like, she's jumping ship because she knows where it's going.
Because of this, I think I've got it here. Hold on.
When you're ready, just click on X.
Okay. I will do that. Make sure I have it here. And if the government shut down. Okay, here it goes. I don't need to. I thought it was a video. It's not. The announcement to not seek re-election from Pelosi was odd timing. Forensic software identified a former Capitol Police officer as a 94% match to the January 5th DC pipe bomber. Do you remember there was the pipe bomb thing?
Yes.
Now, Glenn Beck has been covering this for a long time, and they are actually the ones who have uncovered this and figured out who it was because they had limited footage and the FBI was blocking certain footage back then. And they have the footage of this person who's hooded
Yes.
planting the bomb on CCTV or CC camera or something. And they figured out who she was because of a limp that she has. That's how they figured out who she was. She's now resigned long ago from the Capitol Police. But as soon as that information came out, there was Nancy Pelosi. I'm done. I'm going to retire. My $500 million that I made off of you. Unreal. So there's an exposure. Here's something that's being exposed. Here's something else. I'm going to click on Don Isaacs. Nothing's happening. There it is. Now listen to this. This is another warning. I'm not trying to frighten anybody, but we need to know who our enemy is today.
Former Air Marshal exposes why the shooting at the Mormon church in Michigan should be a wake-up call for all Americans.
What's your biggest top-line concern right now as it comes to defending against these evil-minded people?
What I'm focused on right now is the concept of this homeland attack where 1,000 to 1,500 jihadis trained in Afghanistan, per the intelligence, came into the U.S. to do active shooter style attacks throughout the entire country in a very short amount of time. So we saw what happens with one individual, one motivated individual to kill innocent people in Michigan. What happens when you have highly trained individuals who have spent over a year in Taliban, Al-Qaeda training camps coming for the sole purpose of that Mumbai style attack? 4 to 6 man teams and 8 to 12 man teams. That's what I'm focused on right now from the law enforcement perspective of how to spin up our state, local, and federal law enforcement from a counterterrorism, how to mitigate that type of large scale team attack. And that is my personal biggest concern right now.
Former Air Marshal exposes why the shooting at the Mormon church in Michigan should be a wake-up call for all Americans.
Your dad prophesied, he says, they will train pilots and they have trained pilots.
Look here. Look at this one.
He needs to be a part of Islam, and we will not stop until it enters every home. So I want you to repeat after me. I want to hear it in every single district. It should tremble. Brooklyn should hear it. The Bronx should hear it. Queens should hear it. Say it as if the Ummah depends on this, my brothers and sisters. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. Muhammadur Rasulullah. No God worthy of worship except Allah, the God of Jesus, the God of Moses, the God of Abraham, and the God of the last and final Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is
so they're very emboldened right now that Mamdani has won New York, and that is why we're concerned. And I see someone was saying we could pray for them. Yes, of course we're going to pray for them.
Yeah.
My dad did see those. She was saying that Christ would appear to them, God would appear to them. And Dad saw that in the Damascus Road conversions that would happen. The conversions would happen, especially being on the soil of America, because it is a Christian nation and because there are so many people praying here, so many people that God is using greatly, that they will be reached. But it's much more difficult. It is much more difficult because in Islam and in Judaism, but in Islam, they don't believe that God would take on the flesh. That is like blasphemous. So they don't believe. There's no believing that at all. That idea of God coming into the flesh. It's just it's much more difficult.
The only way that they're going to
where
change
Hindus
their mind,
believe that in the Vishnu and all that stuff. So it's much easier. You'll find Hindus convert much easier than a Muslim or even a Jew would to Christianity, because they're open to. And I'm not saying anybody should be a Hindu. I'm saying we had a lot of experience with that in South Africa because there's a huge Indian population in South Africa where we're from.
Second largest to India.
It is. And so, I mean, Indian culture is so ingrained in South African culture that their cuisine is part of like curry and things like that. Bunny chow, delicious. We're dreaming of bunny chow. If you know, you know.
It hasn't got bunnies in it.
No, it doesn't, but it is delicious curry. But in a bread bowl.
But here's the thing. At our church in South Africa, more of the Indian people actually got saved by having experiences with Jesus himself in visions and in dreams. Because you got to understand that with the Muslims, we can pray for them, but we mustn't throw our seed to swine. That's what the Bible says. We can't just be like, well, we'll pray for them and Jesus will save. No, they will have an experience. We just got to pray that God reveals himself to them in dreams and visions, and that God's will be done.
Where we cannot,
but we
God
cannot
can.
just go and we waste our time trying to go in, because you know what they'll do? They'll listen, they'll turn it around and try and convince you and make you think that you await and question yourself, because they know that they know that they
They're
know
definitely
that they're
clever.
they take
Very clever and crafty.
They're going to be doing so. Don't throw your seed to swine. Just pray that God intervenes, but we need to be wise in our prayers. We can't just waste them, because what's the point? You're wasting your time. It doesn't mean we have to be mean or horrible in that, but we just pray for God's encounter. He encounters them, and we pray for that, but we need to be wise and not fall for their deception.
Jonathan Cahn's Avatar. Interesting experience in India. I've got to read some Jonathan Cahn. I never have.
I watched him.
Here we go. This is what I was going to show you. You need to see this too, Lou.
Board. And everybody, even those on the right, said he's a crazy conspiracy theorist and it doesn't make any sense. I did a chalkboard and I did it every night, and I said, the Islamists, communists, anarchists, socialists, revolutionaries will all work together to destabilize first Israel, then Europe, and then the rest of the world, and it will finally come to America. And everybody said, their argument was that they don't get along. What are you talking about? Socialists and anarchists, socialists, communists, they want giant state. Anarchists want no state. Islamists, are you kidding me? They don't want the same thing. They want Sharia law. The communists don't want Sharia law. You're seeing them now. They're all working together. And what people don't understand is they're so arrogant. They all believe, I'm going to use these guys, just exactly like Chuck Schumer. I'll use these guys for a while, but I'll still be in control. And we'll take care of them when all is said and done. In 1979 in Iran, the Marxists and the Islamists worked together to overthrow the Shah of Iran. Well, who had the power? Well, the Marxists and the Islamists were supposed to share power. But soon as they had power, they killed these people. 30,000 people were jailed and killed by the Islamists.
Iran is
it's
the
same story. It happens over and over and over again. And there is an Islamist, different than Muslim, an Islamist movement. And they will tell you in their mosque on tape, they will say, the best thing they'll say is, it's only a matter of time. Just look at the birth rates. You will be an Islamist country. Okay. That's the most.
They come and they tell us
the most docile
Americans. Oh, no, like Ilhan Omar encouraging abortion. She would never get an abortion. Encouraging abortion, encouraging whatever, because to them, they have a goal. They will make sure that while the women must work, that no, all this liberal stuff. That's why it works for them, because it's to their advantage for their agenda to use the socialist communist fools. And and really it's not even that. It's beyond that. It's, I don't want to have to be accountable for my actions. That's what the whole thing about sin is. Controlling the flesh that you are in, and there are consequences that are just naturally there for human beings. God made it that way. So then science comes in and says, well, now if you're promiscuous and you get pregnant, you don't have to worry about raising the baby. It's fine. It's not really a baby. It's just a lump of cells. It's not a baby. It's fine. Go ahead. Abort the baby. Then you're free. Then there's no dealing with actual consequences. And I'm using that as an example because it's easy, but it's across the board. So encouraging all of that, discouraging the family, breaking that apart is weakening the nation, because at the foundation you have to have a good family. And look, for those of you who, for whatever reason, have ended up in a broken home, something like that, it's not a criticism of that. What I'm saying is that in general, that should be the goal. That's what holds a society together. And when you fracture that, which is what they are doing intentionally. So people need to realize it's takia. You're being deceived. And of course, anybody watching right now probably doesn't agrees and understands this.
Did that where he interviewed.
We are a lump of cells, yes, but if you leave it alone, if it was cancer, it would grow into a tumor. But if you leave that lump of cells in your womb alone and you don't abort it, it's going to end up being a baby in 9 months.
Dinesh D'Souza did that. I can't remember what video. I just saw a clip of it where he's speaking to an ex-Muslim, I think it is, and he was saying about Omar, and he says that she wouldn't touch a Muslim baby in her womb.
Yeah, she would never.
No Muslim
do that
would
herself.
ever abort a child.
She's got no problem. That's what takia
no problem
is.
of telling others to do it.
No problem with that.
Well, if you also just want an example of what's going on, look at London. Look at England right now. It's not the same as it was.
Dad said Holy Spirit would enter the mosques. Yes. And that's actually the kind of thing it's going to take.
And that's what we're saying, is that only God can do this. He's the one that's going to move.
Strumming on YouTube. I see you there, Strumming. Strumming has moseyed on over from Rumble to YouTube. I love
he jumps sometimes back and forth. I think after what he's been saying here, let's play the Enemies of America.
Yes, okay, go ahead, put that. We're running out of time now. I wanted you to just see, you guys to see just a little bit of that Glenn Beck, just so you know, this isn't just me saying this. It more and more people are seeing it now, but my dad prophesied this over and over again. Lou is going to put on Enemies of America. 2015.
So what is the foreboding sound? It is the sound of the enemies of America living in America. Those are your greatest enemies, who call themselves citizens, but they are enemies of the cross and enemies of the nation, and they shall be dealt with. You want judgment, says the Lord? Watch. Watch the atheists. Watch. You want judgment? Then watch those that have risen up against me and said, perhaps we shall embrace Ba'Allah. Perhaps we shall embrace that religion. Maybe we shall embrace Sharia law. Ha! I laugh at you because the spirit of Elijah is in this nation, and Jezebel shall not stand, says the Lord.
That is heavy. Enemies of America living in America. Even in the one on March, what was it, 2nd or 3rd, 2013, where he prophesied, we recently were looking for 3-eye Atlas because he saw the planets. But on that same day, he says the soul of this nation has been wounded, not from the outside,
but from the inside.
It's the only way it could have worked here. I'm seeing your comments about the pigs. Now, this is what keeps happening in Europe, in England, and in Paris.
When they're walking with pigs?
Because the Muslims don't like pig. Not to eat, not to be around. They're not
Also
cool
dogs.
with swine.
Some
They
dogs.
don't like dogs. They don't want. Megan McGloverful did a video about that the other day. And she was like, you do whatever you want to, but you're in America. She said, she was talking about it being a melting pot. And she was like, yeah, it's a melting pot. In America's kitchen.
Yeah.
You people need to remember like what's going on here because it's gone too far. And you know what? I think enough people are waking up and seeing the truth. I'm going to put my X page back on.
Well, I just wanted to say quickly, in that prophecy, he says they want to implement Sharia law.
Yes.
Now, I know when you guys spoke about this on Wednesday, Chrissy didn't mention about that, but I just want to say when Mamdani won, all over social media, you saw these white girls and all of them, young people, all shouting, bring in the Sharia law, bring in the Sharia law, all over New York.
Now, we just heard what Glenn Beck just said. They lured them in with that, and then once they got power, they killed all of those people that were doing that.
Yeah.
Useful idiots is what they are, bringing in Sharia law. You know what? They're only saying that because they have no idea what Sharia law means. They think, oh, I'm just going to have to wear a hijab.
Yeah.
No, my friends. Time to catch a wake up.
And that's why that prophecy for me, that's why I said, let's play it, because that part is so relevant for now. They want to implement they want to implement Sharia law.
Sharia law is the goal.
And the thing is, it's a scary road to go down.
It is good to hear my dad's prophecy so we don't have to be afraid. And listen, don't be afraid.
We're not
be
afraid.
Emboldened and be informed. And this is what I keep saying. Know your enemy. That's what we're doing. This is what's happening at the House of Destiny this week. We're going to make sure that you know your enemy. And not to say that you don't. I mean, you guys are smart.
Well, he said we got the spirit of Elijah on this nation.
Yes.
And that's what we
and Baal Allah.
And we
so you look in the Bible, Elijah, Jezebel, prophets of Baal. When he is referring to Allah, he almost always said Baal Allah.
Jonathan Cahn,
because my dad recognized who is really behind this, where this really goes all the way back to Baal. Remember when me and Auntie Wendy tried to pray against Baal, and I was like blinded and got so sick, her and I both, because we just stepped out there like praying it up. But you actually have to be careful.
You got to be very, very prayed up for that. God's got to actually
John,
let you know.
My husband saw what happened to me when I did that with Auntie Wendy. He saw, and he said, you better just be careful. Like, make sure you are not just jumping into things you're not actually protecting.
Well, there's levels. There's levels that you can't just go straight to the top.
Yeah. And me and Wendy,
without
we were just
God,
like, hey, we see you. Me and Auntie Wendy just praying in tongues on the phone and shouting. And the next thing, I was blinded. I couldn't see. I had that oracular migraine thing happen. And then I got sick, like really sick. Well, see, my dad used to protect us against these things, and I took
he was your covering
that for granted. So that's very important too. Make sure that you are covering yourselves, your families, your homes, and that's going to take a little bit more effort, which is going to be. I know a lot of you already do this, but just pray over your homes and your families.
Well, I just wanted to
anointing
say
oil
before we end. Jonathan Cahn actually spoke about the connection between what's happening now and with Jezebel, the Elijah.
He's great.
He's put names, and he actually shows what's happened in the Bible is repeating itself now.
Yes.
And he actually shows you. He says this, and this, and then he goes and he says, now look what's happening here, and this represents this. This represents. It's the same thing. It's in his new book.
He's somebody I'd love to talk to. I've never met him.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say that.
No, he's excellent. All right. I think I'll I was gonna, let me just read this tweet. Stay here. This is from Trump. He's mad at the air traffic controllers. They got in big trouble today. Did you see this? He says all air traffic controllers must get back to work now. He's such a boss. He's like a boss / dad. Anyone who doesn't will be substantially docked. For those air traffic controllers who were great patriots and didn't take any time off for the Democrat shutdown hoax, I will be recommending a bonus of $10,000 per person for distinguished service to our country. For those that did nothing but complain and took time off, even though everyone knew they would be paid in full shortly into the future, I am not happy with you, all in caps. You didn't step up to help the United States of America against the fake Democrat attack. That was only meant to hurt our country. You will have a negative mark. Oh my gosh. That is just too funny. Oh, I can't take it. You will have a negative mark, at least in my mind, against your record. If you want to leave service in the near future, please do not hesitate to do so with no payment or severance of any kind. You will be quickly replaced by true patriots who will do a better job. He must have been mad. And you know he doesn't actually write these tweets. If you've seen them, he speaks them, and he's got his assistant who's sitting there typing it for him.
Yeah.
So I can just imagine he must have been so mad. And there he's telling her what to say, and I can just see her sitting there probably typing in the tweet. Make that all in caps. You're in big trouble.
And you know that he was,
you will be
he was
replaced.
very upset because it was a very long truth.
And then he says, you'll be replaced by true patriots who will do a better job on the brand new state-of-the-art equipment, the best in the world, that we are in the process of ordering. The last administration wasted billions of dollars trying to fix antiquated junk. True. You had no idea what they were doing. They had no idea what they were doing. Again, to our great American patriots, God bless you. I won't be able to send your money fast enough. To all the others, report to work immediately. Man, that is just...
See, now that's a leader.
That is a dad, is what that is. That's a kind of letter I would have gotten from my dad. Oh, my gosh. You know what? Trump did accept that airplane from Qatar, and I don't like it. And look, here's the thing. Poor Trump. Look, he's not going to get everything right. Even if you look at my dad's prophecies, Trump's going to make mistakes along the way. And then we also have to remember that there's things going on behind the scenes that we don't know about too. And we have to always take into consideration, what do we not know that he cannot say?
Yeah.
So I'm always, I have no problem criticizing anything, especially like, I wasn't feeling so great about that 50-year mortgage thing. So I'm like, man, if I were to do that right now, I wouldn't even live long enough to pay off the house. I'm 45. I don't have 50 years left. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But my mom was explaining some things to me earlier to where she likes it. She said, because what happens is nobody actually stays in their house. On average, people stay in their homes 12 years on average. And then, but she was explaining how it'll help people enter into the market and, be able to get a home.
Because it brings the price down.
And then the interest rates.
Or whatever.
Oh, my brain doesn't work that way. So I don't know. So it's okay to criticize Trump and
well, no one's perfect. But
no, and if you even look, my dad prophesied he was going to build the walls of protection. He was going to help the economy, and that he would stand with Israel. That's ultimately the things that Dad saw. Besides the obvious things like he's going to get elected for the second term and all that. But as far as what he would do, those are the things that we need done. And so, we don't like taking the plane from Qatar, but we understand he was doing that because he's trying to bring them in and hold them economically and financially and keep it nicey so that they'll be cool with Israel, which we need. Abraham Accords, all that. So he's gonna have to like play nice with the people. And even when it happened, he said, "Look, it's not his plane. He just got a nice plane for America
Yeah.
because he's gonna be gone in a few years, back to Mar-a-Lago. He doesn't get to keep that plane."
Yeah.
But then we've got the Syrian president coming here, and we know he's a jihadist. Christy wasn't happy about that. And I also, because if you remember, my dad said Russia will join its hands with Iran, Syria, and gather as many nations as possible to come against the Jews and to come against this Christian nation. So we know 50-year car payments. Huba's wife on Rumble. That was funny. Oh my gosh. Let me see what people are saying. People have to be smart with their finances. Take the 50-year mortgage, but pay extra to pay down. And that's what my husband was saying to me. It's okay. So if your mortgage payment is only $500, go ahead and pay $1,000 every month, or pay $1,500 every month anyway. And then if you have a bad month, you can still make the minimum payment of $500 and not get into trouble or not miss a payment. So I'm hearing the arguments. When I heard 50-year mortgage. It just sounds
well. That's the thing. That's what they put in the headlines, and then your brain immediately goes to
that's 50 years. I don't have.
And this is the thing is that this is why we got to stay on top of things and speak and learn, because there's things that are happening that are good, but we think, oh my gosh, it's terrible. But actually,
that happens with change.
Okay. Yes,
and there is a lot of change,
and there's a lot of things that has to change, and we have to catch up with, because there's a lot of change that's happening even in government that we need to pay attention to, because it's not the same as it was 20 years ago, 30 years ago. We saw the change happen so quickly in South Africa.
They're saying about Amanda Grace. I wonder if I have it. Amanda Grace on the Esther thing. Did you see? I thought I had posted this. Let me go down.
I think you shared it.
I did.
I shared it on the Kim
because she spoke about the Esther.
Yes.
And something else I had seen about that with Erica Kirk. Let me scroll back down here.
I think you put "oh no" or "oh my."
I said "uh-oh."
Uh-oh, yeah.
How long is it? Put that back on. We're actually out of time now, you guys, but we're whatever. This is not a normal day.
No.
What have I done? No, it's not working. It took me to TikTok. Oh, I can't play it on here.
Oh, that's right. It's a TikTok.
It's link. A TikTok, so it won't let me share the screen on this program we're using to broadcast to you. But go watch Amanda Grace on 9/11 and the Esther. Very good, aligning perfectly with Dad's prophecies and things like that. Okay, so here's what I was going to tell you. Most widows don't have the world laughing at them and insulting them, or making memes and drawings of their husbands dying, or spamming their socials with horrible comments about him burning in hell. People used to say that to me. When my dad died. Christians.
I try to protect
screaming
you so
at me in all caps. You're going to burn in hell with your father. It's like, oh, you're a great Christian.
Yeah.
Here. Erica Kirk is stronger than any of her haters could even dream of being. After listing, there was more stuff. And here's what interested me. They'll say we hated her.
And now we love her.
Now we love her. And that's why I reposted that, because it's going through all these things that most people don't have to, their crying faces photoshopped into horrible memes. Most aren't having to deal with all of this in just months after losing the love of their life, trying to raise 2 bereaved kids, whilst the entire world watches them, criticizes them, and hates on them. And in the Esther prophecy, my dad said, they'll say we hated her.
And now we love her.
Now we love her. So we're still in the middle of some of these prophecies, you guys. We're still in the middle. In the middle of the prison.
You know what the thing is?
And the restoration of America.
Well, here's the thing. The cartel part, and I'm going to say this until it happens, is that I think that the cartels, it's affecting, because your dad said
the schools
and the colleges. Now, what does Turning Point do? Colleges. Who knows, with the change now, with her being in charge, and it's growing, it's gonna go over to the schools, and I looked it up. The drug cartels send infiltrations into the colleges to sell drugs and get drugs moving through the colleges. What's to say that Turning Point's not going to start something that's going to change their income into the colleges by these cartels? Because he said it straight after that.
The Esther prophecy has to check all the boxes.
Yes, and I'm waiting for that part. I'm waiting
because
for
what we've gone through.
I'm waiting for the turning point.
When we actually have the final answer, and I was telling people this at the His Glory conference this weekend, is because when we have the final answer, we're going to be able to make like a little documentary. I want to call it Finding Esther. And we can go through all the people we thought it was over the years, because this is. But you know what I said to this is what I was going to say. What I said to people this weekend was when a prophecy is fulfilled, you don't need me to tell you. You know, Trump will be a trumpet. Check. 2 terms. Check. They'll try to impeach him twice. Check. These are things that you've heard the prophecy, and if you've heard that prophecy and remember it, when you see it fulfilled, you're going to say, "Oh, there it is fulfilled." So we haven't had that. We've almost made it there with Erica because of her virtuous. Her eyes will be round and big. She publicly forgives her husband's assassin. That is the purest act of being a Christian. So,
well, that's what I'm saying is that
makes me want to.
I don't know what I'm waiting to see, because I looked it up about the cartels. And there is that the cartels, part of their network is colleges.
Yes.
So when your dad says the colleges and schools and cartels will be afraid of a woman, I think in that moment, this is my own personal thinking, I could be totally wrong, is that I'm thinking he's talking about cartels that are infiltrating the colleges and the schools. And something's going to happen where that line might be cut. I don't think it's as big as we assuming it will be. It could be, but I think because of the way he put it together in that short moment of schools, colleges, cartels, that it seems together.
Let's listen to it. It's video 4. We're going to close out with Esther. His face. No, because he talks about socialism. Just play it again. Okay, we're going to close out with that. And before we do, I want to, if I click this picture, is it going to show up on the screen, Lou? Of the Jesus print.
Yes, if you scroll that, no.
Okay. That's good. Oh, that's better. There, much better. Okay, I just wanted to let you guys know, if you don't already, this is the new Jesus. It is now available. All you have to do is email, and this is the only thing you can do if you want one of these, is email. I know Christy Noem, Michelle Warden, I agree with you. Thank you for your super chat. Christy Noem is actually dealing with cartels. So that's why I feel like we're not quite there yet. It's looking hopeful. The Red Sea moment is coming. Amen, Jude, baby. Okay. So if you want to get one of these, you can email my husband, and that's the only way to get it. The ministry does not sell these. The ministry is separate. The reason I talk about it here is because of my social medias and my husband and I's, because he's my husband, people wanting to know from here. So I get lots and lots of questions. And so if you are interested in getting one, I know Christmas is coming. A lot of people are going to be giving these as Christmas gifts. You can email my husband, John. There's the email address, johnpetrushka@mac.com. The other one, Lou, I'm going to, there's the other 2, and those are done in gold. I think he is not doing any more gold on the Jesuses. I'm not sure about that though, but those are the 2, the other 2 that he's done. The Jesus in that one is the original, and then the lion. Many of you already know the story of the lion. He also has them in just black and gray if you don't like gold. And so I just wanted to let you know. We had a lot of people get those in Texas at His Glory this weekend. He brought some with him, and a lot of people got them. And so just to let you know, because I know Christmas is coming, there's that. I didn't want to forget that. And again, if you want, you cannot buy them. He does not have a website. He does not have a store. You cannot get it through the ministry. If you email the House of Destiny, they won't know what you're talking about. If you want one of these, you have to email him there. And I encourage you to do that. You can follow him on X too. And we're going to play the Esther video before we go, though. Don't play it yet, Lou. To anybody who's given a donation, an offering to our ministry, we so appreciate you, and we thank you so much for supporting us. If it wasn't for you, we would not be able to share these prophecies the way that we have, or at all. And so those of you who have supported us all along the way, we know you, we know your names. We thank God for you every day. And for those of you that are new, that have decided to sow into our ministry and support us, you are going to see incredible blessings. And I'm not just saying that flippantly. There's something amazing that I saw happen with my dad and with his ministry. And the fact that it wasn't just about him, it's about, and just today, as it's not just about me, it's about us. We are in this together. We are the Christians who are battling an unprecedented enemy, one that has manifested in a way the world has never seen. And it's very important that we understand how we are living in this time. There's only so many people alive right now on the earth. And God chose us to be the ones alive right now to deal with this beast of the East. And so it's very important that you sow where there is fruit. What is the fruit? There's a good fruit. There's a good fruit here at the House of Destiny. Is there good fruit in Kim Clement's legacy? And I encourage you to sow into our ministry if you believe that. And if you do, we want to send you something because we love to give back to you guys. We so appreciate you. The Daily Light, it's a 30-day devotional. If you would like one of these with an offering of any amount, if it's only $1, it works. Just make sure that you go to the website. You can use the QR code right there, or you just go to the website and make sure that you, houseofdestiny.org or kimclement.com will get you there. But you click the banner and let us know that you want it. And the other one we have for $25 or more, Prophetic Revelations, a collection of letters from the pen of Kim Clement. Beautiful, beautiful. QR code is there, same thing. Make sure if you want that, when you give an offering, go do it from the website and click the banner to let us know that you want that, and we'll send it to you. And also, you can join our partnership. We started a partner program in the last year for those especially who wanted to help me pay to digitize all the footage that I have of my dad, because it was so much. It was so expensive. And that is why on Prophetic Rewind now, you'll see we're just running in date order everything that we have. We're in September of 1997 now. What was it this week, Lou? I forgot. The 20th of September, 1997 is the one that went up today. And that's thanks to our partners. And what Christy and I have been doing is we have our show analysis that we do on Wednesdays, which you need to watch that this Wednesday. Thank you very much for the $100 super chat for all of us, for your dad, Donne, Kim Clement in our life, for all who have a soul in Christ. Thank you so much for your gift. One Mind Tab. Thank you very much for your donation. But this partner program, it's really important because you're helping me to get this out there. And a lot of it helps you to understand. Thank you, Karen Conkle. Helps you to, on Rumble, helps you to understand the prophetic. So he did the School of the Prophets, and that is in the partnership. And then every Wednesday, Christy and I have been doing an extra segment. So we do analysis on Wednesday, we do the broadcast, but then after, all of the things that we can't talk about, or maybe we run out of time sometimes. We might run out of time, but also certain things we can't really talk about that we don't want like out there on social media. We put in the prophecy vault for our partners. And so make sure, if you can, if you feel led to, join our partner program. It's only $7 or more a month. And you can have access to also the upgraded prophecy database. And that is really, really helpful and useful. And so I'm going to say goodbye now, but we're going to end with the Esther prophecy. And you're going to understand, if you don't already, I'm sure you do. I'm sure if you watch these broadcasts, you know the Esther prophecy. But you know what? It helps to listen again, because it's specifically because he brings up socialism. In the middle of all that stuff, he sees the president will be decisive, make decisions. He'll have no fear. That's Trump. And then he sees in the middle of the restoration of America, which is what's happening right now with Trump. He's restoring it. Make America great again. He sees a woman rising up. Could be Erica Kirk. Could be Kristi Noem. Kayleigh McEnany. Carrie Lake. All the people. Over the years. I'm going to make a documentary one day, Finding Esther. And then at the end of it, hopefully we can interview who ends up being the Esther that he prophesied. Or maybe it is what Gabriel Babin says, and maybe the Esther is the church. But I don't know. I feel like there's very specific characteristics given to this person. So, but hey, maybe he's right. Maybe he's right. So we will know one day. That's one of those mysteries that we're still kind of hanging around with. But in the middle of prophesying all of that stuff, he speaks about socialism. He also, at the same time, speaks about agreements between nations, specifically China. And we've just seen what's happening with Trump and Xi. Thank you, Faith to Apple. You are the best. Thank you so much for your support. We love you guys so much. And it just, I couldn't thank you enough, because we really, I wouldn't have been able to do this, what I've been doing, without your support. We are a non-profit. So we aren't making a profit. None of this is for profit. We just need to be able to run, and we run completely on donations. We do have a couple of sponsors, but it doesn't bring in very much. So we do appreciate all of you so much. And again, we're in this together. We are a team in this together. So I will say goodbye now. I will be back on Sunday, and I will actually be in Colorado at a church in Colorado, and we're going to stream. Is that what we're doing?
Yes.
Lou's running out. Okay.
I'm very excited about it, because it's the first time we're doing it, and I'm like,
yeah, we're going to stream from the church, and you guys will just get to watch me live at a church in Colorado.
So what's going to happen? I spoke with them, and it starts at 10 a.m. Mountain Time.
Okay, Mountain Time.
Mountain Time.
No, don't mess me up.
Just
what is
look at our
Mountain Time?
Socials. We'll schedule it. You'll see what the proper times will be. I'm just letting you know. So if you want to find out before I post anything about times, just have a look and see what Mountain Time is.
But it'll be 10 Mountain Time.
10 a.m. Mountain Time.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is we're streaming the whole service from beginning to end.
Oh, great.
So it's going to be their prophetic worship moments.
Oh.
Right up till you speak until you end.
Okay.
And then once that's done, we'll leave it like that for a while. Then we'll bring it down to
what am I going to share?
Moment. We're
going to have to figure that out.
Yes.
I have all of these.
It's very exciting, guys. You don't want to miss next Sunday.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
It's going to be very good. It's going to be very good.
I'm so excited to go. I'm so excited.
Boots on the ground with Donnie.
Just pray that we don't have any problems with the flights, because I have to fly. And you guys know I don't want to fly. I drove to Texas this past weekend, but I cannot drive to Colorado. It's an 18-hour drive to Colorado, so I can't drive.
I'll be praying the whole
Listen, if
way.
God wants me there, he'll make sure I get there one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he'll protect me. Okay, so next Sunday, Codebreakers Live will be in the mountains of Colorado. First time we've ever done this, and we're going to have church together. So that's what will happen at Codebreakers Live next week. Do not miss analysis this Wednesday, because you're going to learn about the 12ers, about Taqiyya, about these things in Islam that we need to understand, because this is the enemy we faced today. And it's not just Islam, it's communism too. So, okay, so I'm going to go. Lou's going to play the Esther prophecy, and then that'll be the end. But I just watch it again, everybody. Let's have a look again. And I thank you so much for everything, for joining me today, for tolerating this kind of laid back Codebreakers Live today, but it had to be this way. And we'll see you next week in Colorado.
Thank you, Lord. Deliver us now. Deliver us. Bring deliverance, Lord. Deliver us from this enemy that has endeavored to handicap us. And Lord, the betrayal that has been so evident in the White House, bring that to an end.
I see a president that shall come, and this is not to speak bad about this one. There is a president who will come. And God says he will have absolutely no fear. Absolutely no fear. Will be decisive, make decisions. And then in the middle of the restoration of America, rapidly, because of a source of energy that shall come quickly, and because of medical breakthroughs, and because of agreements between nations, specifically China. God said they shall say, we never dreamed this would happen. They said that this in Japan would never happen. But God says, listen to me. As the beginning of the restoration, as it begins, there shall be a woman that shall rise up. A woman that shall be strong in faith, virtuous, beautiful in eyes, and her eyes shall be so beautiful. Her eyes shall be round and big. I have crowned her, says the Lord, as I crowned Esther. And the people shall receive her, for she shall have the oil of gladness for the pain and the mourning that has taken place. And she shall pour out the oil. Is there some oil here, please, Marty? Is there some oil? She shall pour out the oil on this nation. And God says healing shall begin, and then it shall flow rapidly. Schools will be free from potential damage and danger, shootings and murder, drug addiction. Cartels shall be afraid of a woman. A woman anointed by God. A woman set aside. And God says they will say we hated her, but now we love her. For she shall take the oil of healing, and she shall pour it upon the scars of those left and those right, and of the new party that has come forth and emerged, where they shall say Christ will reign, and this we shall not implement at all socialism, where where they have said we will make history without God. No, you will not. No, you will not, says the Lord. For I chose this nation before it was founded. Before anybody came here, I chose this entire nation, all 50 states, every one of them, to send my gospel to the entire earth. Do you think I have changed my mind? Therefore, the healing that is necessary for this nation shall come at a time in the middle of the presidency. There shall be a woman that shall come, and God said there shall be oil that shall be poured upon the nation, and they shall suddenly feel the healing, and they shall say, it is well with my soul, it is well with our soul. For the soul of America has been corrupted, the soul of this nation has been corrupted with bitterness and anger, and God said she shall say, no more bitterness, no more anger, no more division, and shall pour the oil that shall come from the Spirit of the Lord himself. If you as a nation believe that, if you want this, lift your voice and shout one more time and say, yes! Yes to Esther! Yes to Esther! Yes to Esther! Yes to Esther!
Yes to Esther! Yes to Esther! Yes to Esther!
Yes to Esther! Yes! Yes!
To Esther! Yes!
Hello, friends. I'm Donna Clement Petrushka, and I am honored to invite you to something truly extraordinary, the Kim Clement Prophecy Vault. Now you can gain unprecedented access to my father's entire digitized video archive. Every prophetic moment, every powerful teaching, every anointed worship session is now available to you in the Prophecy Vault. We've also enhanced the prophecy database, meticulously updating it with new video content and profound insights. Plus, I'm excited to share that my dad's special School of the Prophets teachings are included, offering you deep, transformative lessons on hearing God's voice and understanding his revelations. As part of your membership, you'll also gain access to my prophecy blog, where I break down and analyze my father's prophecies, connecting them to current events. This blog will provide you with exclusive insights and a deeper understanding of how God's word is unfolding right now. And we're offering something truly special: exclusive analysis sessions available only to members of the Prophecy Vault. These sessions will go beyond the surface, providing in-depth exploration of specific prophecies and their implications for today and the future. Your partnership is crucial. Not only will you gain access to these incredible resources, but you'll also help us continue the vital work of preserving, digitizing, and adding new Kim Clement material to the archives. So, I'm inviting you to step into the Kim Clement Prophecy Vault. Let's embark on this journey of revelation together, and I can't wait to see you inside.